children, welcome to my channel Study Time and I am Gurmeet Kaur. आज हम question answers करेंगे from the Portrait of a Lady, New Images, Chapter 11, Class 8. So let's begin. The A1 part here is answer these questions. Number 1, describe how the narrator's grandmother looked. तो narrator की grandmother कैसी दिखती थी? The narrator's grandmother was short. She was short, fat and slightly bent with wrinkles crisscrossing her face. Her silvery hair was untidy around her face, that was puckered. Now what is the meaning of puckered? Puckered means contract into wrinkles, or you can say small folds were there on her face. She looked very old in a beautiful kind of way. Number 2, did the grandmother like what they taught at the school in the city? How did she feel? तो grandmother को कैसा लगता था जब narrator city school में जाता था? The grandmother did not like what they taught at the school in the city because there was no teaching about God and the scriptures. Because जब वो village school में जाता था तो वहां पर वो ये सब कुछ पढ़ता था, लेकिन सिटी स्कूल में गॉड और स्क्रिप्चर्स के बारे में कुछ नहीं बताया जाता था. ऑल्सो शी डिडंट लाइक द आइडिया ऑफ सिटी स्कूल टीचिंग म्यूजिक टू स्टूडेंट. शी फेल्ट डिस्टर्ब्ड बिकॉज टू हर म्यूजिक वाज अ मोनोपोली ऑफ बैगर्स एंड नॉट मेंट फॉर जेंटल फोक्स. तो पुराने जमाने के लोग जैसे सोचते थे तो वैसी ही उनकी भी सोच थी कि इट इज म्यूजिक इज नॉट मेंट फॉर जेंटल फोक्स. एंड शी रियली टॉक टू नरेटर आफ्टर दैट. तो उसके बाद वो कुछ चुप चुप सी रहने लगी. Question number 3, what did the grandmother do during the happiest half an hour of the day? तो जब उनका आधा घंटा वो क्या करती थी? जो उनका happiest half hour था वो क्या करती थी? During the happiest half hour of the day, the grandmother fed the sparrows little pieces of bread. Number 4, how did the grandmother's daily routine change when she shifted from her village to a city? तो जब वो city में आ गई तो उनका क्या routine था? The grandmother's daily routine changed when she shifted to city because she no longer dropped the narrator to school. तो अब पहले तो वो उसको स्कूल छोड़ने जाती थी और उसके बाद उसको सारा दिन उसका ध्यान रखती थी एज अ गार्डियन, लेकिन अब ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. तो नरेटर यहाँ से खुद ही स्कूल जाता था थ्रू द मोटर वैन. Question number 5, what did the sparrows do when the grandmother died? When grandmother died, the sparrows came and sat around her in silence, refusing to eat the bread the narrator's mother gave them. तो वो उनको भी बहुत ज़्यादा they felt grief and pain. तो sparrows ने भी क्या किया? खाना नहीं खाया. जो उनकी narrator की mother ने bread crumbs दिए वो भी उन्होंने refuse कर दिए. A2 part is answer these questions with reference to the context. One here is, people said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband, but that was hard to believe. Who is she being referred to in the above sentence? The she is the grandmother. Why was it hard to believe that she had a husband? It was hard to believe that she had a husband because as a child the narrator could not imagine things he had not seen about people in his life. क्योंकि वो छोटा था तो वो ऐसे imagine नहीं कर पा रहा था कि वो भी कभी married थी, उनके भी कभी husband थे. तो as a child the narrator could not imagine things he had not seen about people in his life. And how did her husband look like? कैसे दिखते थे उनके husband? वो उसने picture में देखे थे फोटो में. Her husband wore a big turban and had a long white beard. तो ये narrator ने picture में देखा, फोटो में देखा था कि her husband wore a big turban and had a long white beard. He wore loose fitting clothes and looked very old. The second part here is, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. Now question number A arises here. Why did the narrator think his grandmother would be upset? The narrator thought his grandmother would be upset because he was going away for 5 years to study and he wasn't sure his grandmother would be alive when he returned. तो उसको लग रहा था कि उसकी grandmother भी upset feel करेंगी. Was the grandmother upset? How did she react? तो क्या grandmother upset थी? The grandmother was neither upset nor sentimental. Coming to the station to see him, she muttered prayers and kissed on his forehead. तो वो ऐसी कुछ upset नहीं थी, कोई उन्होंने ऐसे sentiments नहीं show किए थे. Just kept muttering her prayers और उन्होंने उसके forehead पे kiss किया था. C part, what did the narrator take as the last sign of physical contact with his grandmother? तो वो last sign of physical contact क्या था? The narrator took as the last sign of physical contact with his grandmother the moist kiss she planted on his forehead. Third part, that was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. तो उस दिन उन्होंने pray नहीं किया. Who is she being referred to in the above sentence? The she being referred to in the sentence is the grandmother. And what did she do instead of praying? उस दिन उन्होंने pray नहीं किया तो क्या किया? Instead of praying, she collected the women of the neighborhood and drummed out on the old drum until her family stopped her for fear she was training herself. तो उन्होंने बहुत ढोल बजाया और अपनी नेबरहुड से भी लेडीज को इकट्ठा किया. शी वॉज वेरी हैप्पी ऑन दैट इवनिंग और उस लोग फैमिली मेंबर्स ने उनको रोका बिकॉज शी वॉज ट्रेनिंग हर सेल्फ. सी पार्ट, हाउ डिड शी फील द नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग? तो वही हुआ जो उसका फैमिली मेंबर्स को डर था. द नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग शी फेल इल. तो वो बीमार हो गई, उनको फीवर हो गया था. A3 part is think and answer. First part, do you feel happy or sad at the way the narrator's relationship with his grandmother evolved? What examples from the text to support your answer? तो क्या है? The feeling is one of sadness, है ना? The author and his grandmother shared a relationship which was very strong. When he was living in village, his grandmother took care of him as his guardian. Then they shifted to city where grandmother could no longer accompany him to school. तो वो दूर हो गए थे एक दूसरे से. But later, when he went to university and was given a room of his own, the common link of friendship was snapped. तो उनका जो common link of friendship था, उनका एक रूम था जिसे वो हमेशा शेयर करते थे, वो भी उनसे दूर हो गया. Second part, why did the sparrows not eat anything the day the grandmother died? उस दिन sparrows ने क्यों कुछ नहीं खाया? The sparrows did not eat anything the day the grandmother died because they were mourning. Yes, उनको बहुत ज़्यादा दुख था. They scattered around her dead body. They were not chirping. उस दिन वो chirp भी नहीं कर रहे थे. They expressed their grief over the death of the grandmother and refused to eat the breadcrumbs. Even narrator की mother ने breadcrumbs भी दिए, but they refused to eat that. So they showed their grief on the death of the grandmother. Thank you so much. इसके साथ question answers complete होते हैं. If still you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section and kindly like, share and subscribe my video. Thank you so much.